What's up, beautiful people? Welcome. Today's topic is how to deal with depression as a man. So, if you're interested, if you're feeling like you think that you're depressed, then stick around and let's talk about it. If this is your first time, we do wedding and proposal videos, financial videos, how to be a better you, also some tips and tricks on how you can gain additional income online. So, if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe and join the family. So, depression. First, let's see what Google says about depression.
Okay, guys, so according to Google, depression is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Fortunately, it is also treatable. Depression causes feelings of sadness and or a loss of interest in activities once enjoyed. And I love this website right here that gives a brief definition of what depression is. The website is called American Psychiatric Association. And guys, this blog is operated and run by doctors who are professional in this type of sickness. So depression symptoms can vary from mild to severe and can include the following: feeling sad or having a depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed, changes in appetite, weight loss or gain unrelated to dieting, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, loss of energy or increased fatigue, increase in purposeless physical activities, example, unwrinkling or pacing, or slow movements and speech, feeling worthless or guilty, difficulty thinking, concentrating, or making decisions, thoughts of death or suicide. And this is the number one killer. When you start to think about suicide, start to think that you are unworthy to live. Symptoms must last at least 2 weeks for a diagnosis of depression. Also, medical conditions, example, thyroid problems and brain tumor or vitamin deficiency, can mimic symptoms of depression, so it is important to rule out general medical causes. Depression affects an estimated 1 in 15 adults, 6.7% in a given year, and 1 in 6 people, 16.6%, will experience depression at some time in their life. Depression can strike at any time, but on average first appears during the late teens or mid-20s. Women are most likely than men to experience depression. Some studies show that 1/3 of women will experience a major depressive episode in their lifetime. Depression is different from sadness or grief. The death of a loved one, loss of a job, or the ending of a relationship are difficult experiences for a person to endure. It is normal for feelings of sadness or grief to develop in response to such situations. Those experiences loss often might describe themselves as being depressed. But being sad is not the same as having depression. The grieving process is natural and unique to each individual and shares some of the same features of depression. Both grief and depression may involve intense sadness and withdrawal from usual activities. They are also different in important ways. Example: in grief, painful feelings come in waves, often intermixed with positive memories of the deceased. In major depression, mood and or interest, pleasure are decreased for most of 2 weeks. In grief, self-esteem is usually maintained. In major depression, feelings of worthlessness and self-loathing are common. For some people, the death of a loved one can bring on major depression. Losing a job or being a victim of physical assault or a major disaster can lead to depression for some people. When grief and depression coexist, the grief is more severe and lasts longer than grief without depression. Despite some overlap between grief and depression, they are different. Distinguishing between them can help people get the help, support, or treatment they need. So these are some real good information here. Risk factors for depression. Depression can affect anyone, even a person who appears to live in relatively ideal circumstances. Several factors can play a role in depression. Example: biochemistry. Differences in certain chemicals in the brain may contribute to symptoms of depression. Genetics. Depression can run in families. For example, if one identical twin has depression, the other has a 70% chance of having the illness sometime in life. Personality. People with low self-esteem, who are easily overwhelmed by stress, or who are generally pessimistic, appear to be more likely to experience depression. Environmental factors. Continuous exposure to violence, neglect, abuse, or poverty may make some people more vulnerable to depression. How is depression treated? Depression is among the most treatable of mental disorders. Between 80% and 90% of people with depression eventually respond well to treatment. Almost all patients gain some relief from their symptoms. Before a diagnostic or treatment, a health professional should conduct a thorough diagnostic evaluation, including an interview and possibly a physical examination. In some cases, a blood test might be done to make sure the depression is not due to a medical condition like a thyroid problem. The evaluation is to identify specific symptoms, medical and family history, cultural factors, and environmental factors to arrive at a diagnostic and plan a course of action. Medication. Brain chemistry may contribute to an individual's depression and may factor into their treatment. For this reason, antidepressants might be prescribed to help modify one's brain's chemistry. These medications are not sedatives, uppers, or tranquilizers. They are not habit-forming. Generally, antidepressant medications have no stimulating effect on people not experiencing depression. And you guys can read the rest. So I'll stop here.
First, I want to say that I never had severe depression, but mild depression. I found myself thinking a lot about my future. How am I going to set things in place so that in the next couple of years I can be where I want to be? And some of the times when you're going about doing that and you're thinking about a whole lot of things, then it can really overwhelm you as a man, as an individual. And for me, I didn't know how to deal with a thing like depression, because I didn't know that I was depressed. I thought that I was just feeling down. I was just lacking in every single way. My thoughts was depleting and nothing seemed to interest me, so to speak. I was always tired. I always had migraine because I was always thinking. Well, me, I'm the type of person that When I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking like a million things just exploding in my brain. I'm thinking what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to wear, etc. Or I'm going to place myself within the day. And to tell you the truth, sometimes it can be very stressful. Even more so if you don't understand what it is that's going on inside of your body, inside of your mind. So I remember a time when I didn't sleep for 4 days. No sleep. I'm not really exaggerating, but it's the honest truth. But something, I would say critical or amazing, happened on the 4th day. I was walking and all of a sudden my brain starts to shut off, so to speak. I know I was walking, but every step that I took, I was just blocking. I was just off pause, to speak. And eventually I had a second mother which looked after me. She gave me some sleeping tablet and I took one of those and just knock out like a baby. I didn't even know where I was until I think I slept for 12 hours. Yes, 12 hours. So guys, just speak to persons. I know you don't feel like doing it. I know it feel overwhelmed. I know all about it, but just speak to somebody and see if it can rectify in that sense. Because if you just take it upon yourself and just think you're dealing with it, eventually you're not really dealing with it. It's going to get worse and even more severe. And when it turns into severe depressions, that's where you start to think about suicide. That's where you think about people don't care about you and you're lost. You're no hope in the world. But just always remember that God made you special. He didn't make any junk. And just remember, you were the first sperms to reach the egg, so you're special. Also guys, remember to subscribe, like, and comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. So guys, depression is life dangerous sniper, because you never know when it's going to hit you. And when it hits you, you never know when it's going to be severe. So guys, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, lonely, feeling like you can't go on, or feeling disloved, then please, I advise you to go talk to someone. Please, I advise you to seek professional help. And if for some reason you still feel depressed, then my best recommendation is turn to the Bible. Because trust me, when you start reading from Matthew, going down from Jesus' time, then you really know your true value. Then you really know what you're really worth. Then you find yourself start to love yourself more. Start to have more confidence in yourself. Yes, and the next thing, the Bible also says it's not good for a man to be alone. So to speak, it's still not good for a woman to be also alone. Because when you're alone, that's the time when your mind gets to wander all about the place. That's the time when you start to think and consider all sorts of nonsense. So if you don't have a spouse, just call over a friend. And if you don't have a friend, look guys, this is modern time. You can always go on the internet and find someone. There's so million or billion people on this planet, and man have come up with such a brilliant idea of the World Wide Web. How I cope with depression. I realized that my brain was all wandering and I wasn't focusing. I started to lose track of time. I start to gain weight. So what I started to do with the help of a friend, I start to compose music. I start to write music. And when I start writing music, then I start to record myself singing, even though I must admit I can't sing. But if you guys want to hear some of the songs I do, you can check them out in my channel. I think I have a playlist called My Songs. You can check them out and tell me what you think. See if I can make it. So again, depression is not racist. Depression don't matter if you're black, white, purple, green. It will come. So many people nowadays are dying lonely. So many people are committing suicide because they felt that no one loves them. They feel like there's no hope. And that is the thing that the devil implies on your mind. The devil put inside of our mind. So we feel like we are unworthy, feel worthless. But remember guys, I love going back to the Bible. And in the beginning, God created man in his own image. So if we are made in the image and likeness of God, that simply means that we are powerful. Simply means that we can accomplish anything that we set our minds to. It simply means that we are loved more than we can even imagine. Cause check this. Jesus came and he died for my sins. He came and he died for your sins on the cross. If you want a vivid illustration of what he had to endure, there's a movie named The Passion of the Christ. Go and see that movie. And don't get me wrong guys, I'm not saying that you have to become a Christian to be loved, to feel worth something. Because again, look at Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was a sinner. She was a sinner. She felt like she wasn't worth anything. And then she met Jesus, and Jesus showed her love, the greatest love ever. And then all of a sudden she feels like she's the world. So guys, if everything that you're doing failed, if everything that they're giving to you, prescription and everything failed, trust me, try Jesus. If you try Jesus, I promise you, try him and have a mentor that can teach you things that you don't understand. Then trust me, you're going to develop a great self-esteem, a great sense of worth. You're going to see you find yourself start to love your family more, start to love your wife more, and wives start to love their husband more. Because now they know the foundation of what love really is, the foundation of what things supposed to be. And fathers, I do implore that you tell your children, especially your sons, every single day that you love them. If you see your son come in, just hug him, kiss him, and say, boy, I love you. Rub his head. Show him that you appreciate him. Because when everything else failed in the world, you are who they turn to. And if they can't find that love, that self-appreciate, then that's where they commit suicide. But guys, that's just my 2 cents. And that's just my own opinion. You can disagree or agree, but in any words, let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out any upload that I publish. And I publish videos every Wednesdays and Sundays. And I'm telling you, it's not easy, but I'll try and keep consistent, because that's the key. So as always, laugh, cry, enjoy.